Coming on to talk about sports and more specifically MLB from CBS Sports. He covers the MLB, Danny the Eddie.
Somebody's going to beat the Cleveland Browns this year. Is it going to be another opponent, or is it going to be the Cleveland Browns? That's their storyline, and the season will answer that story.
Well, my prediction preseason, because we always have to do that at ESPN, give us your predictions, make us look like idiots, was Astros and Nationals, with the Astros winning. Given the fact that both those teams still look like they're in the mix for that eventuality, I'm going to stick with that, Astros and Nationals, with Astros winning.
Play action is going to take himself around the left big hole 40, 35, 30, cuts it upfield, spin move 20, action Jackson 10, and dancing into the end zone. Touchdown Ravens. Halftime launching it down the middle of the field, called at the 20, Sammy Watkins 10, walking into the end zone, and the Chiefs are going to be going to Miami. What's going on, Sportscaster, YouTube, and beyond? Thanks for watching this video. I'm Yosef Masinter, and I hope you're having a great day as I welcome you into episode 2 of the Ravens vs. Browns Week 14 Deep Dive, where I'll go through every play in that game. I talk about what happened, why it happened, should it have happened, who messed up, who excelled, and a whole lot more. This was absolutely the best game of the regular season, and I think it was the best game of the playoffs as well. Playoff implications, stars making big-time plays making stars, and of course, a dramatic Hollywood ending. But before we get to the film, please check out my podcast, Sports with Yosef. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That's Sports with Yosef. Check out all of my videos on Sportscaster, sportscaster.com, sportscastr.com, as well as checking out my articles on Flurry Sports. My username for Sportscaster is YosefM613. As well as checking out my articles on Flurry Sports, Tackler, Sportscaster News, and Rocky and Meisty. I know, it's a lot of different sites, so I made it easy for you by creating my website, yosefm613.com, YOSEFM613.com. There you can check out all of my articles, all of my podcasts, a whole bunch of my videos, as well as subscribing to get email updates every time I post new content. And that's yosefm613.com, and you can subscribe right on the homepage to my email list. Also, if you could give me a follow on Twitter, that would be much appreciated. My handle is, well, you guessed it, YosefM613. With that out of the way, let's get to the Ravens-Browns game of the year. Here we go. As we will head back where we left off last episode. A couple of things had happened. The Browns have been attacking the Ravens using some screen passes. In the 5 plays, we saw 2 running plays, three passing plays. 2 of the 3 passing plays were screens. That's going to be where we're seeing the Browns trying to attack this Ravens passing attack right now because that Ravens defense, because it's so blitz heavy. So with all that said, now Browns got the ball here. Decent field position, a very good field position really. As the 6th play of the drive will commence at the Ravens' 45-yard line. First down and 10. Cleveland ball, and let's take a look at what's going on. Up there in a cold night in Cleveland. All right, Baker Mayfield here, shotgun formation, back to his right. He's going to bring Jarvis Landry in motion, and here's the screen. Oh, wait, it's going to be a flea flicker. Back to Nick Chubb, who is going to get all the way down to about the 33-yard line. Okay. Trick play. So there are a couple of things going on here. First off, 11 personnel. So again, these 3 wide receivers right here, tight end, running back, one running back, one tight end, that's the 11, and then 3 receivers making up the rest of the pass catchers. Ravens, they're going to a nickel defense, which means 5 defensive backs. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's one thing I'm noticing right away? Oh, here comes Jimmy Smith. So now, initially, back here, they did not have enough corners. Well, they do now on that right side of the formation. Jarvis Landry right here. He's the guy coming in motion. He's followed by Marcus Peters. Man coverage. So, it's man coverage. Ravens not showing blitz here at the line. But they're going to go with this screen here. So just to go through the play one more time, you got Jarvis Landry. He is able to throw the football. This is a backwards pass, so he's allowed to throw the ball again. He had done a nice job throwing all year, really. And then he takes a hit as he throws it to Nick Chubb right here. He's got look, it's 3 guys versus Matthew Judon right here. Ravens not ready for this. 3 versus 1, and at this point, Nick Chubb can just catch the ball and start running. And Ravens do a good job of filling in afterwards. The ball took a little bit of time to get there. Landry's not a quarterback, and he doesn't have to throw across the entire field. So, a couple of interesting pieces here. Let's take a look at Jarvis Landry. What's Jarvis Landry? This is a design pass for him. So who is he looking at first? Number 1 is actually this is number 1, David Njoku, covered by looks like Deshaun Elliott, and then Nick Chubb is number 2. So this is the big play, and that's where you can see Jarvis Landry's eyes right there. He's looking at him. Now it's right shutdown coverage, nothing doing. So Landry going to his next read, which is Nick Chubb. Now, you're not going to often see a quarterback going through multiple reads on a flea flicker. That's just not, I would say the standard. Or a non-quarterback, I should say, going through multiple reads. But that is what happens on this play. And he makes it the correct reads, doesn't try to force the ball in, and then goes to the screen. Baker Mayfield kind of just standing here saying, every now and then you'll throw the ball to him into that situation. They don't this time. So that's the first interesting piece about this. Let's take a look from the line perspective and the way the Ravens are going to attack Jarvis Landry. They do a pretty good job of this. Mayfield immediately getting the ball out, and then right off the bat, who's coming? Pernell McPhee. Another guy who's coming right here. Marcus Peters. He's being blocked by Rashard Higgins. And this is actually Peters. Higgins does a nice job blocking. Donovan Peoples-Jones there to block, give a little bit of time. Pernell McPhee, though, does get and does lay a hit on Jarvis Landry. So McPhee was never meant to have been able to get there. Take a look at Jack Conklin here. I'm going to slow this one down as Mayfield audible. We can skip forward a second. Look at Conklin. See, his goal number 1. He was trying to take McPhee out of the play, and to be honest, he failed. Normally what you want to do one of 2 things. Number 1, you're going to want to try to just take him off his feet, or you want to get outside of him on the other side of Landry. So, actually, on the other side of McPhee, so that the Conklin's between McPhee and Landry. Does not do it. And so that's not a great job there by McPhee. By Conklin. Now the rest of these 4 offensive linemen, they actually all go left. They're going to go block for Nick Chubb. So if we take a look here, all 4 just moving left. And then they just start going. All 4 just making... and then you see all these players right here. They're going the wrong way. They realize it too late. LJ Ford, he starts realizing initially. So he's one of the first ones. He's going to be one of the first ones to get there. But you just had Justin Ellis and Madubuike just kind of just standing there like, okay, what do I do? Now Ford gets close, but who is that? That is the center, J.C. Treader, who just pushed him just a little bit wide. He was a little bit wide at the get-go. And then you'll see Matthew Judon, who was fighting the whole way. Take a look at Judon in a second, and then Patrick Queen there to make this stop, but not before a pickup of 12 yards. Okay, so let's take a look at Matthew Judon, who was there. Judon is right here. He's lined up 0, 2, 4, 6 in the 7 tech. And what are the techs? I'll talk about this quickly for a second. Right here on top of the center, you saw me counting it out because I actually was not sure. That's a 0 tech. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the case of McPhee, you might call him a 9 because he's so wide. You see how, and it goes to the right as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the outside shoulder would be 5. Normally you've got a tight end here who is 6, and then kind of got McPhee here. So McPhee might be in the 7 really. He's not. I mean, sometimes you'll see guys all the way out in the 9 though. But so you see Judon. That's where he's starting out. Starting out in that 7 tech spot. Lined up. Now he's shifting just a little bit more to that step outside. Now Joku's gonna free release. So you see him going against the rookie Wills, and his job looks like right here. He kind of reads at the screen. And we're just watching Nick Chubb, waiting for that pass to happen. And he's also responsible for covering Nick Chubb. His job is covering him right here. And he's being double teamed here by, it looks like, Bitonio and Wills. 75 Bitonio, 71 Wills. And he gets off of it. Let's take another look at how he gets off of it at this back end here. Really, just double teamed and then just keeps on fighting, gets away from Wills, gets away from Bitonio. And there to really make a stop. That's just a good job by Matthew Judon. Let's go to, if we go to the top view. We'll see Judon right there, backpedaling, waiting, and now the ball's in the air, he's attacking it. And in the end, he just forces his way into the ball carrier. So, very well done there by Matthew Judon. So, you'll see how the Ravens not that many guys try to attack Jarvis Landry right here. So only really Marcus Peters came in. Humphrey and Jimmy Smith, they backpedaled. I initially said it was man, but these guys, they're waiting, maybe receiver's going to run out here. They're respecting his ability to run. The line of scrimmage is at the 45-yard line. So right here, they're kind of at this halfway, so they're trying to not let Landry be able to take off and run. Really respecting it. That ability. It's good 15 yards after the catch for Njoku. And at the end, during this play, Matthew Judon, really at the end, he got injured. See how he's still on the ground right there. So he is going to be out for a little bit. His return is probable. Let's watch this one more time before moving on. See if there's anything else of note. Single high right here. Looks like Chuck Clark. Deshaun Elliott. Not normally the guy you see who takes the tight end. It's normally Clark's job. Throwing across the field, taking a hit from McPhee, and picking up 12. Jarvis Landry on the season. Through this pass now, 4 of 4 for 71 yards. So, trick play right off the bat here. The Browns know they've got to get points on this drive, start off strong against a fierce defense. And now they are getting into Ravens territory. Ball at the Ravens 33, first down and 10. Browns coming to the line of scrimmage here. Right off the bat, first thing I notice, well, heavier set. Those are the 3 tight ends, Njoku, Bryant, and Carlson. With a lone wide receiver that looks like it's Donovan Peoples-Jones. Actually, not Landry. Looks like Landry might have checked out. So, 1 running back, 3 tight ends, 13 personnel. Ravens in their base defense here. So, 1 cornerback, 2 cornerback, 1 safety, and second safety. So, big formation here. This is a situation, right, where you're gonna normally try to run the football. You see, Ravens got a lot of guys up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the proverbial box. In fact, I'll even make it a box. But this box defensively, and it's a weird camera angle to really be able to draw it, so it's kind of off center. You got 8 defenders down here in the box, and you got Marcus Peters, who's close, and he's available to help out if necessary. So with that said, the Ravens are kind of playing the run here. Now, if you think about it, who's got coverage responsibilities here? You got 3 tight ends bunched inside. Maybe Marcus Peters has got the outside guy. Assuming this is man, maybe you'd say Peters has the outside, and then Clark has the inside, and I can't tell who that is. We'll have the middleman? Possibly. It's Tyus Bowser. But no play action, naked bootleg. We'll be seeing a lot of this tonight from the Cleveland Browns. A lot of rolling outside the pocket. I talked about how Baker Mayfield holds the ball longer than any quarterback in the league. Well, part of it is also these bootlegs. They run him out of the pocket a lot. And so let's go back here. Here's Harrison Bryant. And he is taken down right there. All right. the 29-yard line, and I can't find my mouse. There it is. Let's take another look from here. Roll out. Look, at this point, it's just an easy pitch and catch. Look how wide open he is. Mayfield sees it. It's not the easiest of throws, but the entire defense really gets beaten on this. And let's take a look at exactly who gets beaten. And actually, we're going to take a look from this camera point of view, because if you see again, so I was right. It was Clark on Njoku, Bowser on Bryant, and Peters on Carlson. But look how the tight ends go to block. These two tight ends, Carlson and Njoku, they're going left. They're going all out on this run play. Bryant's the one guy who doesn't go left, but he's blocking. But then Bowser starts to release, starts to see sees its play action, and starts to try to get after the quarterback. Bryant's out, and he's a first read here. Looks like Carlson, look, he looks like he's going over to block. But look at this. He's going to just cut up the field. He's going to be the second option for Baker Mayfield. It's 1, 2. Or 1, maybe 2, 3. But so Bowser lets him go. Bowser then tries to get after after the quarterback. Doesn't do a great job of it. You'll see he's kind of flat-footed here. It's like, oh, where am I going? Doesn't take a great angle. He's not going against the running back or wide receiver. Let's pause it right here. He doesn't want Baker Mayfield to get outside, obviously, but look at this angle he's taking here. I'll draw it out. He's going to right there. That's just a little bit too far. You almost want to go more towards right there, just because it's a quarterback. He's a little bit slower. He's 70 now, about 10 yards away. So it's not a terrible angle, but it does look like it's just a little bit wide to me, because he didn't get to the quarterback at all on this one. And Mayfield just gets to slow himself down. Throw to Bryant. Throws a little bit behind Harrison Bryant here. As you can see, Bryant reaching back. Has to turn himself around. That slows him down a little bit, and that helps the Ravens out. And then Marcus Peters made the read and dared to make the catch. Let's take a look at where Marcus Peters was initially. Right, Marcus Peters. His job is Carlson. Nope, it's zone coverage actually all the way. And so it looks like his job is Carlson, but his job is really the outside guy, and he's just going to follow and make the stop. So let's pause this and go back to this view. Because let's take a look at this entire Ravens defense. This is what we call, by the way, the naked bootleg. Naked, there's no one else out here. He's alone, and obviously the bootleg rolling away from the pocket. But everyone goes for it. Really, everyone. Look where Chuck Clark's looking. He's looking in the wrong place. Patrick Queen, everyone's following this running play. Nick Chubb, the number 2 rushing attack in the league. This is where the Browns look like they want to go with the football. And they don't. So yeah, the Ravens in zone coverage. Oh, I missed a part here. And you just see everyone sucked up. Patrick Queen soon starts to recognize it. At this point by the defensive line, look how far out there. They're not affecting this play. Derek Wolfe, he's got a shot. Maybe he's being blocked by the tight end Njoku, but he's too far away. Actually, and I missed this when I had this in my notes. Right here. Right here. Mayfield looks directly at Tyus Bowser. And this freezes him. And if you'll go back, you'll see. So I was wondering what was wrong with Bowser. He looked wrong. Something just looked a little bit off the way he was pursuing it. Look, right here, looks at him. Bowser freezes for that half second, and it gives Mayfield one more second just to get rid of that ball before any pressure. So good job there by Mayfield. He just froze him. And then, yeah, I did mention something did seem a little bit wrong here, because look at these two. Pretty much in the same spot. Carlson and Jamarcus Bradley, they're pretty much just running the same route. Way too close together. What's going on there? That's Jamarcus Bradley, number 84. So I was wrong. It was not Peoples-Jones, and it was Steven Carlson. That's just not what you would normally see. I mean, there's just no reason those guys should be running to the same spot at all. Not really sure what's going on here, because I mean, I've got to just assume some miscommunication. Maybe someone's meant to be doing something just a little bit differently. I mean, if we go to the all 22, excuse me, not the all 22, you'll see Bradley's just running it over right here. And then Carlson makes his cut really much at the same level. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of separation here. That's too. Now they're 5 yards apart, but initially it's too close. I don't know if that's play design. It looks initially like it is play design. Then it looks like it's a bad play design, or they just didn't take into account the speed aspect. Bradley's there pretty much the same time as Carlson, and it kind of negates both of them, because all you need is one defender to cover two guys, and it happens to be there was no defender to cover either of them. Ravens got beat badly on this play. But in better defense, I mean, one defender can take out both these guys just by standing about right there, right between them. So I'm not a big fan of this, and I'm wondering what's going on there in Cleveland. Is this a coaching error? Did they plan having was it meant to be a different tight end running the route, or a different wide receiver running the route, where it's just a little bit of different timing on the speed aspect? Have to wonder about that. I mean, remember, no Austin Hooper, no Odell Beckham Jr., so maybe that's part of this as well. Now, if you take a look at it, and I said, I mean, these receivers right here, Bradley and Carlson, they're pretty much open. Why doesn't he go to him? And we'll go back to the spot where he throws the pass right here. The reason you're not throwing to him, and I know he's not looking at them, but who's going to win in a race to the football right here? Chuck Clark, who's out in front, say the ball's thrown right there. One guy's got to run a whole lot longer, whether that's Bradley or Carlson. Now, what you would do if you're Mayfield is you would actually probably throw the ball right there, make the receiver come back into the ball, and it's a pretty doable catch, and maybe even you turn the edge. But what you like here is that, I mean, Bryant's just got all of this space, right? I mean, man, nothing doing. I mean, you do have Clark there, so I won't make the circle too big, but he's got to just make the catch, and then he gets to just take off. The issue was it wasn't a great throw. It was a little behind him. And that negated the possibilities of the yards after the catch. So I love the play. So I know I was bashing this part here. Something doesn't look right between Carlson and Bradley. What I love here is that the Ravens, they were worried about the run. You saw 8 in the box. And so the Browns, what do? You first off, against a blitz-heavy defense, this will give you a little bit more time to work with in naked bootlegs. And it does what great. Baker Mayfield does a great job freezing Tyus Bowser by looking at him for a half second. And you see Bowser just be like, huh? He thought the ball was going right over his head for a second, and that did really help out. I mean, look how much space there is. There's a good 9 yards between Mayfield and Bowser. It could have been, I don't know that Bowser would have gotten there, but it probably he could have been an extra 3 yards closer if it was not for the freezing look of Mayfield. So I think it's a good play design. They got a lot of guys in space. I don't think this play works well in man coverage. I think this is a play where it had to be zone. And the reason would be because you've got guys who are staying on him the whole way. It's not great coverage by Marcus Peters. He lets him get to the outside. It's just generally bad coverage here by the Ravens. Every receiver is open. That's just not the way you want to run your system. David Njoku just standing there at the end after Derek Wolfe got off of the block. Have to wonder what he's going to be doing next. So I'm torn on this play design. Is this a good play, or is this a bad play, or is there something wrong, or is there meant to be a different personnel change? I mean, obviously it works, and he'll pick up the yards. He got 4 yards on the play. Did Harrison Bryant. And let's watch it one more time before we move on to the next play, and we'll take it from the top. See, I guess there are a couple things. I mean, I don't initially recognize its zone. I guess because of the way Marlon Humphrey was playing. But Bryant with a catch. Past Marcus Peters, you saw Judon down there from the end of the last play. Play action, everyone following Chubb. All kinds of space. Bad throw by Mayfield. Needs to lead his receiver. He does not, but that will bring up not 2nd down and 5 again. I told you in the last episode that it was just really bad scoreboarding in this game. It's 2nd down and 6. Ball on the 29. But with that said, let's just move a little bit more forward. Okay, going heavy again. Second time we've seen Andy Janovich in this ball game. 21 personnel, 2 running backs, 1 tight end right here, and 2 wide receivers. Landry and Higgins back in after Jamarcus Bradley coming in. I mean, Bradley's what? He's not even on this. I mean, he's not even on my depth chart. He's got to be like the 5th or 6th wide receiver up there in Cleveland. But he came in for that play. Okay, so you see Ravens loading. So earlier they had a bunch of guys in the box. Now they're loading the line of scrimmage. You see a lot of guys right here. Ravens in a base defense. And let's just take a look at what happens on this play. Mayfield under center, offset eye. Play action, naked bootleg again. This time Ravens get there a little bit faster. But again, wide open. This time it is David Njoku and Chuck Clark on the stop, a pickup of 11 and a 1st down. Take another look here. Going heavy. Pernell McPhee, he recognizes this one. Again, and not a good throw by Baker Mayfield. Now, I mean, you can take a look here why, but look at Njoku. He has to reach back. And actually causes him to fall down. A better throw, and we'll go to this view. But a better throw, and Njoku here on Marcus Peters has got on Chuck Clark has a shot to turn the corner and maybe go all the way. Because he's got a receiver here, maybe he can pick up a block at the outside. It's not impossible he goes all the way here. He does not, though, as it's a bad throw. All right, so let's head to this view and start it off. Number 1, same play action concept as last play. I know that it's not 3 tight ends here. It's 1 tight end to the left and fullback right. Same play action concept, same zone blocking scheme. Coming across. This time Pernell McPhee recognizing it just a little bit earlier. Because one reason that McPhee's able to recognize it and make a move on it is because there are no tight ends. There's no one blocking him. So they're just ignoring. So from defensive standpoint, on plays, you try to bring one, especially on passing plays, you try to bring one more player than the offense. You try to bring one more defender than the offense has blockers. And from the offensive perspective, you normally have to choose 1 or 2 players who you're just going to say we're not going to block. Number 1 to correspond for the quarterback, number 2 to correspond for the running back. One guy they're choosing right here is Pernell McPhee. Because in a classic situation, you would not block Pernell McPhee. The run is going out here to the left. McPhee does not get in there. It's just not happening. So yes, you're going to let McPhee come free. Now the issue is, this play's not a run. But they're trying to make it look like a run. So right off the bat, Pernell McPhee, he's got here in space. And this is going to allow him, after Chubb runs down to the left, he's able to he sees its play action, and now he starts making his move at Mayfield. And I like this angle better. I like this angle he takes better than the one Tyus Bowser took. Although look how much he's changing this angle as he runs. So you don't like having to change it, and I'll tell you what, oh my goodness, almost got a hand on it. Look how wide open David Njoku is. Chuck Clark in coverage. Need better coverage from the Ravens here. And that ball needs to be right there. Instead, it's going to end up right there. And again, these arrows are a little bit approximate. Maybe it's more like there and there. but it causes Njoku to fall down just because he has to reach back. Good job by Njoku making the catch. That's just, that was just a nicely done by him. Let's wipe the screen. And let's switch. Let's take a look at this blocking up front. Who wins against who? Right off the bat, it looks like Cleveland does a pretty good job blocking. Looks like Tyus Bowser kind of gets free at the end. Let's see. He does. I'll tell you what. Look here. Joel Bitonio versus Derek Wolfe. Bitonio is just going to school him. Wolfe going to the ground. Now, the Ravens looked like they had this running play. If it was a running play, they had it pretty well done. Looks like Justin Ellis having this inside track. LJ Fort, he had the ability to come in here, but sees that Mayfield's got the ball and peels off. So nice job there by the Ravens. All right, so Chuck Clark here versus David Njoku. Njoku right there, Clark there. Let's take a look. Right off the bat, making his way up the field. Right here, he's got the leverage. Right here is where the win happens. Nope. I spoke too early. Let's go back 1 second. Watch Njoku. Stutter steps. There, he gets he gets Clark there to lose his footing for a second off of his stutter step, and he's won. Right there. He won back there. He's got the leverage. And at that point, it's just simple who can run faster. And because he had the space, and Clark really would have had to be much, much faster than Njoku could be able to catch up to him because of that initial leverage. Man coverage across the board there from the Ravens. Anyone else open on the throw? Not really. It's pretty good coverage by the Ravens cornerbacks. See, Tyus Bowser looks like he's responsible for Nick Chubb here. Still following him in case Mayfield wants to eventually go back to him. Same play. It's same pass concept. You're just gonna roll your quarterback out. You can have a guy in front of his face. Make the easy read. Make the easy throw. Although both times Mayfield coming out just a little bit short on these throws. Definitely not what you like to see from your quarterback. With that said, let's take a look one more time. You'll see the man coverage here. Play action. Mayfield rolling out. McPhee attacking the quarterback. Not in time. Bad throw. Njoku makes a very nice adjustment to make the catch. Chuck Clark there to take him down, but not before he picks up 11. Let's take a look right here. LJ Fort looking. He's the first one, I think, who makes this read, who sees that it's a naked bootleg. LJ Fort, whoop, and he's back, but he got kind of caught. Hold on, what did happen to him? Where did LJ Fort go? Let's follow him. He starts going left again. He wasn't sure. He's a middle linebacker here. So he initially reads it. Cuts back. Now he's just standing here. He doesn't really know it doesn't look like he knows where to go. He's kind of just lost. Matabike giving chase. Good to see there. Malik Harrison running across. Looks like he's responsible for Andy Janovich. And with that said, that'll bring the ball inside the red zone for the Browns as we head to the next play. First down and 10. About 10 when the snap happens. It'll be 10:40 to go in the first quarter. Ball on the Ravens' 18-yard line after the pickup of 11. So, again, they're just repeating themselves a lot. And what this is going to do later in the game is when they're in a formation and this offensive line starts going left, and the Ravens are going to say, oh, hold on, is this a play action? Are they trying to do a naked bootleg again? Maybe someone will read it. Will make a read. Think pass, and that'll set up a run play for Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt later in this game. All right, it looks like same personnel. 21, 2 running backs. The running back and then the fullback. Tight end is still David Njoku. 2 wide receivers. Ravens in their base defense. And let's take a look at what happens here. This is a bit of a complicated. This is going to be a little bit tough to see from here. Rashard Higgins, top of the screen, being covered by Marlon Humphrey. Surprisingly, let's remember we talked about last episode how normally Humphrey's going to be the guy in the slot, especially against Landry. This time it's Marcus Peters in the slot. So here we go. Quick pass. Ball comes out from Marlon Humphrey, recovered by Higgins himself. And he gets lucky. We'll take a look here. Again, I don't know how easy it's going to be to see this fumble from this view, just from how far back it is. Nope, you see the ball come out. Peters dive in, but Higgins able to reel that ball back in towards himself. All right, let's talk about what's actually happening on this play. Okay. So he's starting off. Okay, so last episode we talked about shotgun and single back and under center. This is called a pistol because, or at least it's initially the pistol, because he's got Nick Chubb behind Mayfield. So if you're distanced from the line of scrimmage, you see this distance. There's this distance right here. He's not under center. So it's not the shotgun because he's got a back behind him. So that's going to be the pistol formation. I'd say pistol wing because he's got Andy Janovich right there. And then he's going to motion Nick Chubb out. Two things happen here. Number one, Chuck Clark is going to follow him. Have to think, I mean, look where Chuck Clark is initially lined up, though, to try to take Chubb. That's not going to be the standard. That makes you initially think, what? It's zone. Another part which makes you kind of think it's, I mean, is this zone? I think this is zone. Yeah, this is zone. Interesting how Marcus Peters and Humphrey are on the same side. Normally they would be on opposite sides in zone, especially because they're the only two cornerbacks in. A little bit of a twist here from Wink Martindale trying to disguise his coverage, right? This kind of looks like man. But if you look at the angle of the hips, and that's kind of one of the key indicators. The angle of the hips at the snap. If they're facing the sideline, it's normally zone, and if they're facing the man, the player, it's normally man. Not always, but it is a decent indicator. So let's take a look at the other receivers as Mayfield's throw right here. Nope, I can't pause on time. Here we go. I'll tell you what, Peters looks like he does a nice job against Landry. Njoku bottled up. Who's got the coverage? LJ Fort's got the coverage on David Njoku and does a pretty good job. Now let's take a look at this pocket here from Baker Mayfield and this defensive line, offensive defensive line. Looking right, nothing there. Matabike is going to force him left. Matabike working against Bitonio. And take a look here. Justin Matabike, Joel Bitonio. Goes outside and then just gets by him inside. I'll tell you what, almost a hold there. Not quite. Nice recovery by Bitonio. Calais Campbell here double teamed. And they do everyone else on the offensive line for Cleveland wins. Oh, that's a little bit close there from Wills on. Looks like Jihad Ward. See his hand right here where my mouse is. A little close to the face mask. You're almost asking for a penalty. It's like it's a good no call, but officials are not perfect, and that's a little bit risky there. So you see, let's take a look at Higgins versus Humphrey, and I apologize for staying on the top of the screen. Nothing I can really do about it. He's just a quick slant here. Makes a catch. Humphrey knocks the ball out. Peters dove in, but to no avail. Higgins stayed with the ball. Now look at Calais Campbell here, right? Let's just look at Calais Campbell for a sec. Good effort. LJ Fort right there initially, but a whole bunch of guys running out there for the Ravens. Campbell diving in, trying to get the ball away. LJ Fort just turned away, saying no thanks. Campbell
giving it a shot. So from a pass concept, let's go to right before the snap. This is an interesting one because you see Andy Janovich heading out. All right, I'm going to draw the routes here. Let's see what my drawing skills are like. You've got a guy going out to the flat. This is just a vertical route from Chubb. And what else do we got? Looks like it's all slants. I'm going to double check this. Yeah. A little bit of a narrower angle. So you've got a couple of pieces here. Mayfield's initially looked right because this is the side you want. If it's zone coverage, you can have Chuck Clark make a decision. Either he's going to play the deep guy or he's going to come up. No, so you've got him in a quandary here. You've got another quandary with the player here. Do you go to the flat? And I drew the angle wrong. The flat's more like right there. Or are you going to go to the Njoku? Again, not a great drawing, but over the top. Another area. Got a guy to read about right there. You got a guy to read right here on this side. If it's zone, and if it's man, you're going to be able to take a quick look over here and see if they have enough players where everyone's covered. Quick look, and Njoku, is he open? He's not initially. It's a good coverage on Janovich. And so Mayfield's willing to go back left here. Now, when you're looking here at the left, you're normally going to probably normally look inside, outside. So that would be Landry first and then Higgins. And again, it's just quick look over will tell you if they're open. And in this case, it is Higgins who gets open. And I like this play design here. They're attacking the Ravens both in man and in zone. If you think about it, this guy underneath Nathan Landry, you see there is a middle linebacker here. So you've got a tight window where you can throw the ball. But not an impossible window. But over the top here, Higgins, if he catches the ball and starts running, it's up to Marlon Humphrey to make a stop. And Higgins got open. And you'll see how far he gets down after catching it, right? He makes the catch, has to wait for the ball a second. Again, not the greatest throw. It's a tough one because you've got Marcus Peters breaking on it. But that doesn't make it any easier. You could have let him a little bit more. But then he squirts past Peters. He gets all the way down to the 8. So I like this. I like the play concept here. We'll take it back to about right here, but I think it's a pretty strong play design from Kevin Stefanski and the Browns' offensive staff. Easy pitch and catch there between Mayfield and Higgins. Good. We talked about the pass protection. Very, very solid here. Look, I know Madubuike, but just look at this pocket here. And let's go like this. Look at that space around Baker Mayfield. That's a solid pocket. I know Madubuike gets free, but Bitonio ends up winning. Mayfield does a good job avoiding Madubuike. And one more point before we move on. Take a look at Marcus Peters. I kind of mentioned it. But Peters, normally your job's to be to watch your man. He's not. He's looking at Baker Mayfield. And he almost picks this ball. Mayfield sees it. Because to make it... Ideally, in a perfect world, you would lead your receiver, you would lead Higgins to right there. Now, because of Peters, you can't, because Peters is looking. So he's got to throw it right, that's a bad drawing, probably right around right there. Or that's where I would say he probably should throw it. Mayfield plays it a little bit safer and throws it a step behind. But Peters being a ball hawk on this one. And making it tough. And then Marlon Humphrey, you really can't see it on this angle, but he does a great job of just punching balls out over and over and over. He had a great season doing it for the Ravens, really developing it a real skill set for him. Something he's becoming pretty well known for, and he does it on this play. With that said, one more time through, and then we will head over to the next play. I'll say pickup of 9. Cleveland getting the break on the fumble. And fumbles, I mean, you're going to normally, I generally say they should, I mean, this is lucky here. Normally, this would probably go the Ravens' way. It doesn't. Normally, I mean, I'd say if you force 20 fumbles in the season, maybe you recover 10 of them. It really just depends on the bounce of the ball. You can't see it, but the ball really bounced right back to Higgins. All based off of that bounce. Well, great play design. Good job by Mayfield. Great job by Humphrey. Let's move on. 2nd down and 1 ball on the Ravens 9. Now, 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. Tight end is Njoku. Ravens going to this nickel defense here. Single back is Chubb. Play action. Linebackers come up. Quick pass. Higgins fumbles the ball again, but it's going to, again, lucky bounce for the Browns. It goes out of bounds. Marcus Peters knocking the ball out this time. Motion coming across. Clark follows. That means it's man coverage on Njoku. So it's man coverage across the board. Mayfield sees it. So he's going to quickly look to the outside here in space, making the catch. For a nice, well done job there is Higgins. Let's just take a look from here at the route concepts. We've got Landry and Higgins. Landry in the slot, this time covered by Humphrey. This is a whip route here by Higgins. And I'll show you what a whip route is. It's basically... That's pretty much what a whip route is. And he runs this to perfection here. Does Rashard Higgins. You'll see him. Well, I'll play it. It'll be easier to see. Play, and then he just cuts back. He's got... Because Peters was back, he's able just to make the catch and run. Ball does come out. Peters, another guy who does a good job punching balls out, making turnovers. So, he's there. So, initially it looked like man coverage, right? Because Chuck Clark followed followed Njoku across the screen. Let's take a look at what Clark actually does. Because Clark, following him across, wait for it, look right here at Chuck Clark. He's going to blitz. Ravens bringing the blitz on this one. Again, you've got, look how many guys they could bring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, if you really 8, because they could bring either safety and bring one. They do bring one of them. Showing with Patrick Queen just a little bit. And Ravens, LJ Ford, his job's to take Nick Chubb, so he's not blitzing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are. And I'll tell you what, it's a good block there by Chubb on Clark. And generally, again, very good. Look at this protection by this Browns offensive line. There's a blitz coming. There's an equal amount of blockers and linemen, but they just do a good job one-on-one. Judon, not much there. I mean, Queen doesn't really come in. Queen's just kind of standing there. Campbell not getting much in the way of anything, and Jihad War not doing much against David Njoku right here. And a couple of guys, I mean, pretty much everyone. I mean, Peoples-Jones is open. Landry is not. Look at that coverage by Marlon Humphrey. Stellar coverage, but Mayfield could have gone either to Jones or to Higgins. Went to Higgins. Back-to-back fumbles by Higgins. Does pick up a first down. Let's just take a look at this play action here. I mean, you're in the red zone. You think you're going to run the ball. Look at the linebackers here. Look how they'll come up. Queen coming up here for those first couple of steps, saying, "Oh, they're throwing the ball here." So that didn't end up really affecting the play. But what it would normally do was look at Peoples-Jones. Because Queen came up, it vacated this hole here. If Queen stays back, that's Peoples-Jones is not open. Instead, he comes up. There's a man open, but Baker Mayfield going a different way. Let's watch it one last time. Peoples-Jones coming in motion. Njoku coming in motion. Quick pass. Lucky that the ball went out of bounds are the Browns. Back-to-back fumbles, both going their way. inside the red zone. Not a common occurrence, but it does happen. A little bit of miscommunication. Ravens shifting the defense at the last second. Queen coming up, opening up the play over the middle. Mayfield stands in there, makes a play. Nice protection by the Browns against once again. And the Browns have the ball now, first down and goal. Ball, that'll be a pickup of, end up being a pickup of 3. Ball is going to be at the 7 here. 9:11 to go in the first quarter. Okay. 13 personnel here. They're going heavy. Red zone, what do you do here? They went play action last time. They've not run the ball. Really, I mean, they've done a whole bunch of play action here. That's what you do with the number 2 rushing attack in the league. But now you're in the red zone. You're going heavy. 3 tight end set. Got your 3 tight ends. Carlson, Njoku, Bryant right there. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's the lone wide receiver. Ravens in their base defense. How many guys they got in the box here? Let's get a box rolling. Look how many players there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not really gonna count Marlon Humphrey. I could though. Well, the box will count them in. Whole bunch of guys in the box. They're going with the deep safety here. Not normally what you would do in the red zone. Not like it's bad. It just, because they're farther back, I guess you can kind of get away with it. If you're at the 3, you're not really gonna have a so to speak deep safety. You might have a hook zone safety, but not a deep safety. The way he's playing right here. So with that said, let's watch this play for the Browns. Mayfield under center, Chubb in the backfield. They're not running in a while. Will they here? Will they go play action? They will run. Running left, Judon forces a cutback. Chubb breaks free, goes through defenders, and in for the opening score on the opening drive of the ball game. Let's take a look right here. Mayfield audibling at the line of scrimmage. Some hand motion going left. Judon forces a cutback, slips a tackle, does Chubb, and in for 6. Let's take a look at what happened. Matthew Judon, I told you he forced a cutback here. Lined up here. He's in the 9 tech. Look how wide he is from this left tackle. Let's go to slow and play it. Again, same stretch blocking scheme. It looks like it's the stretch blocking scheme. Everyone just moving out. And how does Judon get free? I missed that part. Let's watch Judon here. Judon just pushes right past Carlson. And Chubb wants to run behind his offensive lineman. Chubb wants to run right here, but Judon's coming right at him. Chubb sees it. Nice cutback. Judon's got to make that tackle. He does not. At this point, this is not a designed cutback. And Ravens, they realized they were not expecting it. They over pursued. Tell you what, look at this block here from Jack Conklin, 78, on Derek Wolfe. He takes Wolfe out of the play. Wolfe was the guy who could have gotten Chubb on this cutback, but he was taken out of commission. And then Malik Harrison gets off the block of Wyatt Teller right there at the end. Shot clock races over. Both too late. Let's take another look at this blocking scheme here. You'll see a quick double team right there. Just generally good blocking. Oh, Brandon Williams trying to get free on J.C. Treader. Wyatt Teller. Let's take a... That is Calais Campbell double teaming. Wyatt Teller immediately trying to get to that second level to make a block, as is Jedrick Wills. These two guys, left tackle and right guard, getting to that second level to create blocks. And this is generally decent blocking. The issue is just the tight ends blocking here. Carlson lets Judon go by. Jihad Ward. We talked about watching for the naked bootleg. Let's take a look at what he's doing here. Running here, he sees, oh my goodness, this might be the naked bootleg. He comes back to Baker Mayfield for that half-second. Look at Ward, Jihad Ward again, coming back to Mayfield. It's the stuff like this that sets you up for later in the game, and it sets up play. There's Ward taken out of the play because he thought it was a naked bootleg. So Ward out of position. That definitely helped open room on the cutback. Where's Chuck Clark? Chuck Clark's right there. Let's take a look what he's doing. he takes one step towards Donovan Peoples-Jones, but at that, I mean, he's just waiting to see what happens. Who has the ball? He has to wait and see what happens. Then goes to Peoples-Jones, tries to come back, not in time. Remember, this is the same personnel that they ran some naked bootlegs on earlier this drive. 13 personnel. This is, I mean, stuff like this which really sets teams up. Let's take a look one last time at this Browns touchdown. Chubb in for 6. Opening drive, opening touchdown. And let's take a look from this angle. Trying to get into that dog pound is Nick Chubb, and he is in. He'll get some high fives going, and let's take a look at the next play, the extra point. Right here, you got Jamie Gillen, the holder, Charlie Hewlett, the snapper, Cody Parkey, Bears kicker, who had the double doink. He will hit this extra point to cap off an 11-play, 81-yard drive. 5:54 off the clock. Naked bootlegs, screens. Those are what the Browns were doing. Ravens did not really blitz on that drive. And Cleveland moved the ball at will. If you take a look at just the plays generally on the drive and the gains, it was an incompletion, 20-yard play, 3-yard run, 3-yard run again, 10-yard passing play, 12-yard passing play, 4-yard passing play, 11-yard passing play. Then they gained 9 on the fumble, on the passing play and then fumble. Gained another 3 on the passing play and then fumble, and then a 7-yard touchdown run. Browns moved the ball at will. Only one play went for 0 or less yards. That was the incompletion on the first play of the drive. Remember, they also went to the trick play, getting a little bit sneaky. You see good protection here on this extra point. Marlon Humphrey, that would be not Marcus Peters. That's 28 Jordan Richards going wide in case they have any inclination of faking it, and Parkey making the extra point to cap off the drive. Very strong drive to open up for the Browns. I mean, that is how you have to start off this game if you're Cleveland, and they do it perfectly to get this game going. Baltimore, they're down 7-0 right off the bat, and they will get the ball when we come back next episode. Thank you for watching this one. If you didn't check out the first episode, well, same platform where you checked out this one, YouTube Sportscaster. It's on my website. I want to make sure you check that out. Check out the next episode. If you're watching the stream, it'll be out tomorrow, likely tomorrow. If you're watching a recording, well, then it should probably be out already. Please check out those and check out the rest of this series, as well as checking out my podcast, Sports with Yosef. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out all my videos on Sportscaster, sportscastr.com. All my articles, Flurry Sports, Tackler, Sportscaster News. Check all of that out, as well as checking out my website, yosefm613.com, YOSEFM613.com, where you can subscribe on the homepage to get email updates every time I post new content, including every video that I post in this series. I will send you an email, and it's just to you. No one can see your email address besides me, so please sign up there, as well as giving me a follow on Twitter at yosefm613. So through 2 episodes, Browns, they finished their first 11-play drive. Right out of the gates, getting 7-0. Ravens get the ball and a chance to respond when we get back next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.